All right, what's up, everybody? We are back for another exciting episode of My Podcast is Better Than Your Podcast. And today we are cross-casting with the host of the Matt Plautz Show, who I'm sure you can guess his name. Matt Plautz.
What's up?
Matt Plautz, everybody.
I didn't know we were starting this early.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. We didn't have to, but...
Oh, no, we're good. I'm just trying to make sure. I got to keep the cats out of here because they make all types of noise.
That's okay. We can use that. We can work with that.
All right.
We're not a super serious cast over here. So, a little bit more about you, I guess. You're a comedian from our local area here in Rockford, Illinois.
If you want to call it that.
Do you want to talk about some of what your show is about to start out, or what do you usually do on your show?
Well, as you know, I had the podcast before. I kind of stopped it with temporarily with all the COVID stuff going on and all the protests and the rioting, because it was basically impossible to have something like that where you're talking 2 times a week without constantly talking about that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Which I personally have zero interest in doing, because I like to have fun. It wasn't too, I can talk about serious stuff every once in a while. It's not like I'm opposed to it, but just straight up depressing stuff every day.
Like people are dying and
and also I didn't feel like there's a right thing to say, but everyone acts as if there is. Everyone, it wasn't worth getting canceled over before there's anything for me to even have canceled.
See, so. I went the exact opposite route with it. I was like, everybody's stuck at home. I'm going to start a show and fill their ears with all the wrong things to say.
Yeah, well, I've still been doing stuff. I was doing, basically, I guess, the best way I can compare it is 5-minute video. I don't know if you saw those monologues I was doing for a while. Any of them?
The ones where you were explaining stuff when you had your backgrounds. Yeah. Yep, I did see. I saw some of those.
Yeah, so I did it 4 or 5 of those, and those actually had a lot of fun doing, and I can see myself doing those a lot more in the future. But I saw that as an alternative. I took basically a break from doing the podcast and put my energy into those mainly. Because those a 4-minute video of those with incorporating jokes and also getting the correct information, because I wanted to actually not just spread BS, actually give, in my opinion, the best information I could, and incorporating jokes without me personally. I mean, I know you probably wouldn't care about this, but I didn't want to cross a line that was too far, which I know you're not worried about, which is awesome about you. But
we all have different ways of doing
right.
our art. And I don't expect everyone to be like that. So
yeah, so I was trying to just get exactly to the line without crossing it, and it just started, it itself even started getting harder and harder to do. The topics I did, the why won't Karens wear face mask thing, and basically I kind of just made fun of both sides, and the objective of the videos was to kind of make light of both sides a little bit, because everyone is just taking themselves way too seriously nowadays, I feel like.
Oh, you ain't lying there, that's for sure.
And
I might have to fix
but it. I mean, like I said, I could see myself doing that in the future, but not right now, because it's just started getting worse and worse. And basically the past few months,
maybe that did.
My second passion, if I weren't pursuing stand-up, I would say definitely sports has always been my big passion. When I was a little kid, I started an Instagram account because I'm a big Celtics fan. They're an NBA team, for those of you who don't follow.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my first step into the digital world, was starting that, and I got 800 followers on it or whatever, and which was a big deal at the time for me. And so that's kind of how I got into making content and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I kind of went back to doing sports
videos. Not to cut you off, but so you've been doing content probably a lot longer than you've been doing stand-up, right? Online content.
Yeah. So I started stand-up when I was 17. I'm 19 now, and obviously there was that 6-month break where I only did stand up once in Milwaukee and then actually once in.
I was there for both of those. The newest one was recent, wasn't it? At VFW, you finally stopped in.
I did VFW. I did CG's.
Oh, you did make it out to CG's. Okay.
Yeah, and then that's in Chicago. Or Bolingbrook, I guess. But then I also did. Do you know Adam Riley and Jake Bussey?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they did a live podcast, and they had people there.
I remember. I watched that one.
Yeah, so I did stand up there once.
Jake Bussey just contacted me yesterday. I don't know if it was his intention, but we were brainstorming like ways to advertise for our podcasts and stuff. I don't know if that's what he originally contacted me for, but it was cool because I hadn't talked to him in a while since before the original quarantine. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I like them. They're super funny. I actually like their podcast. Like, it's actually really good.
The only one I really watched was the live episode, because wasn't Dalton and Richard on that too? Or was that a different episode?
Yeah, they were both there, I believe. They were both there.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was definitely good content for sure. I loved watching it. I just never went back to it.
There are people that are like funny, and I can see how some people would find it entertaining or whatever, but it's not necessarily like stuff that's well done. Like, the quality of their show is actually like really impressively good. Like, you can tell they put a lot of time in it.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like, that all also comes with time as well.
Right. Like, yeah, the Non-Essentials podcast is what I think it's called.
Yeah, it is called we can actually look it up right now. I still got my screen on. The Non-Essentials podcast. We'll pull that up on.
I don't think they have it on YouTube. I think it's on Spotify is where I listen to it.
Yeah, they put out a live video once upon a time, and I think that was, you're right. They're not on YouTube. I gotta find their Facebook page just to show them to the audience. But yeah, what else was I gonna? I feel like there was something else. No, I just got caught looking this up. Oh, yeah. So before we got to talking about all the content and stuff like that, a lot of good content coming from a lot of different places. Always remember to check out the Matt Plautz Show as well, which used to be
Matt
Unfazed.
Plautz on YouTube.
Didn't you used to be called Unfazed, though? Because I remember you changing the name, because I'm subscribed to you on Castbox, because that's where I listen to everything, all my audio stuff. Yeah. And your name changed, and I was like, why do you do this?
Yeah, so... I'm gonna start up again soon, I think. I just don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of in like a fork in the road, because originally the plan was to do like the podcast I was doing was largely built around stand up and like regular stuff too, but like, talking about stand up, talking with other comics and stuff like that. But right now it just kind of, for me at least, it doesn't make sense. Because
there's not a lot of stand-up going on, probably.
There's not a lot of stand-up going on. I was going to do, like, and a lot of what I talked about, like, I would put little clips of me doing stand-up in the podcast. I would talk about how the shows went.
Damn, good job, Matt. 332 subscribers, everybody, and we are number 333. So
now I'm a third of the way to 1,000. Yeah. But I'm going to start doing, like... not just sports videos there. Like I said, I'm probably ultimately going to have to make 2 YouTubes at some point and kind of just do stand-up and, like, satire type of stuff on one. And then, because I do like doing sports stuff, like I said. That's always been, like, my second passion.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having more than one show. I'm going to have to start another show eventually for, like, pushing less buttons and stuff. Like, this show I started was mainly just for everything I want to do, because I don't want to... I don't know. I don't want to meet anybody. The whole point of building a broadcast studio from your basement is to not fucking answer to anybody. So I definitely took that and ran with it. You're going to love the background for your episode. It's my new religion, which is my lobster deity, who is growing. You'll see it. He's on a crucifix.
All right. I'll look at it when it's up.
Yeah, and maybe you should subscribe, you fuck. Did you yet?
I have been for a while.
Okay, I didn't know. I don't know.
I watched some of the episode with Marcos, and then I had to go to leave for CG's. I watched that before.
Right on.
But yeah, CG's was actually really fun. Like, it was It was like I would say like a third capacity.
I think I'm actually
I
subscribed to you twice now. I'm sorry, because I
said,
just was thinking about I have 2 accounts, and I just give
oh,
every,
okay.
yeah. I was wondering why.
But
All right, no, I'm sorry. Keep going.
no, it's okay. But it was like a third capacity, maybe half at most, probably not even that. But and it was mostly comics, so like some regular audience members. But I hadn't gone there in months. The first time I went was probably in like February, and I did like really really well the first time. Like that was probably one of my best performances I've ever had.
Oh,
Was
that's
at
awesome.
CG's. And then so that went really well, and that was cool because that was my first time in like a legit
I
club.
I could see that being your crowd too, because like the first time I went there, I did pretty well, and the second time I went there, not so well. But it was also vastly
Yeah,
different material.
yeah. So I did the second time, which was just last week. I was a little bit rusty, because I've only done stand up like 2 or 3 times in the past 6 months.
Yeah.
7 months maybe. I was like, I watched it back, like I had a recording, and there were points where it was like the timing was a little bit off, but overall, it was just because I had so much time to write that I actually just had good jokes.
Right.
Like, and the jokes hit. It was just, I could have hit them better. I could have made it basically one joke into like 2 jokes that got 2 laughs instead of just 1 laugh. Just
Right.
stuff like that.
Well,
But
yeah, but part of that is like, I mean, we've been off for so long, like you really can't hold it against anybody, you know? Because
yeah,
like we,
it,
as comedians, to really work on our material, we have to be out multiple times a week, if not daily. And I mean, we've all been off across the board for what, 4 months minimum? Probably 6 months now. I don't, it's been
yeah, it's like 6 or 7 months, I think, because since March.
yeah, yeah.
So
Since March, I mean, just kind of doing it whenever we can. We're supposed to have the open mic again at Rockies this weekend, but as I probably don't think I mentioned it yet. I might have coronavirus, which is why I am eating soup.
oh yeah, you told me about this last night. That would, as long as you don't die, I think it'd be a little bit funny.
Oh,
Like,
I don't give a shit. Like, that's actually what kind of why we started doing. So, I'm not gonna take too much focus from your episodes. We haven't done one yet, but I got a series of episodes we're gonna do the next few days. This one, the lighting is still kind of weird on the green screen. I'm trying to figure out how to make me and you look natural at the same time. And I think it's going to be impossible because of the difference in camera quality and etc. from here to there. But either way, we're doing this because this is going to be called the COVID Chronicles. I've been sick for about 3 days, and now the first few days was pretty rough, but now I'm fine. I got 2 friends who are also in full-on recovery. Well, one of them is still sick. The other one's in full-on recovery mode. So over the next few days, we're going to do some Zoom chat microphones and talk about how people need to stop being scared, basically. Like, it's like the flu. I can tell you that right now. Like, that's exactly what it's like. Everything tastes like shit, and you throw up for a couple days, and then now I'm fine. I'm a little fevery still. But
I
other
just got a
than...
notification that said some asshole named my channel is better than your channel. Subscribe to your channel. That's a tongueful right there. My channel is better than your channel. Subscribe to your channel.
Isn't that great? Every time I subscribe to someone's channel, it's like it's nice, but it's also a kick in the face.
Yeah, because it is. Yeah, I think I would actually rather not have a subscription. Like, if I didn't know you and I got that, I'd be like, can I block this guy on YouTube? Like, is that
Dude,
possible?
you know what's crazy? We've actually gotten a couple of show subscribers. Like, I subscribe to them immediately, but they subscribe first. I got someone who has over 1,000 subscribers who subscribed the other day, and I checked out his show, and I was like, oh, this guy's show is way better than my show, and then I just subscribed to it. But
Did he comment to you?
I don't think so. No, he
Do
did.
you get
He subscribed though.
Do you get comments
Yeah, I get comments here and there.
from? Have you ever gotten comments from random people,
Like
or just typically
one,
people you know?
like one. I've gotten like one random comment.
Are you using keywords and stuff like that in the
Yeah, I'm definitely using the keywords. I'm set.
and tags?
The algorithm's actually pretty nice to us. Believe it or not. Hold on. I know this is unprofessional. I'll be right back.
What's up, guys? Now that it's not Andrew's show, Did you know that Andrew's voting for Joe Biden and Donald Trump? Because he has dual residence in Wisconsin and Illinois. He actually told me specifically that he never wants to vote for Joe Jorgensen because she's a commie. Anyway, I'm going to go check my phone now. Oh, you know me. Just more nudes. My channel's been... How many subscribers does this asshole have? 40. Actually pretty impressive. Considering he's doing like long form video. Good job, Andrew. All right. I really hope he edits this out.
All right, I'm sorry. It's
Did you test positive?
Actually, I don't know yet. That's I'll know before Thursday if I'm positive or not, but I'm pretty sure I am. I was hanging out with two of my friends last weekend, doing all types of illicit substances and all that jazz, and they're both sick, so we all have the same sickness. We figured that out. And both of them tested positive, so
Okay.
I'm gonna be really mad if I don't get to do the charity this weekend, man.
Oh yeah, that's gonna suck, bro. I heard there's like hundreds, like
130 people, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro.
Yeah, now I'm probably not gonna get to do it.
That sucks. What was I gonna say, man? So yeah, I was looking. There's a few mics in the Chicago suburbs. I don't think they're really doing many in like
In Chicago.
in Chicago.
It's because they're not doing anything like inside, really.
Yeah. I did hear there's a club. I forget which club. Riddles is on, I think, Mondays.
Oh yeah, I forgot they've been doing stuff.
Yeah, and then there's some like theater or whatever that Jose's going to. I heard.
Terminus Theater. Terminus
Yeah,
Theater.
have you been there?
No, I've been wanting to make it out there, but the days that it's been on, I haven't been available.
Yeah, I have to adjust my schedule back because stand-up's kind of back a little bit. So I need to work on that. But in a couple weeks, I've basically just been working on like figuring out what type of videos I like to do during like Corona, because I'm just basically building like a base. Like I have like I guess 333 subscribers now, which is a third of the way to 1,000, and it gets a lot easier once you hit 1,000.
Oh yeah, well once you
Anyway.
hit 1,000, you can start making money, and
Yeah.
and people you get advertised so much more. I'm at like
Yeah.
40.
Yeah, it takes a while for the first few hundred for sure. Like, but I mean, I've been focusing on that and basically just saving money. Working a lot to save money so I can move out of Rockford. Because obviously Rockford's really cheap, but I'm not gonna live here if I want to do stand up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not ideal. It's too far from Chicago. I
If-
also don't like Chicago. Like
Well,
I
if you're not going to be a producer in this area, yeah, there's not a lot of future in it. That's why
Yeah.
I try to set up as many shows as I can, because it's not even for like the comedy as a career as much as just staying good at it, like staying on your toes as a comic, because I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to get out of here as soon as possible now. Like I don't even want to
Yeah, man. I think I'm going to Texas in about 8 months.
That's
or 7
where
months.
I would go. If I was going to go out there to pursue comedy, I would go to Austin.
That's where I'm going most likely.
Hell yeah.
I'm visiting Austin.
Go suck Joe
I'm-
Rogan's dick. He'll give you some stage time.
I mean, Joe Rogan is like I'm not gonna go there to like follow him. 'Cause
I know that. But he's
That'd
not
be
the only
stupid.
he's not the only one who's going there either.
Right, but him going there provides a lot of there's going to be there's more stand up opportunity there
So-
because he's there. They're going to take it more seriously.
Well, plus the
He's
thing
gonna
is
open a club.
you also got to look at how much there was already a ton of stand up going on in Austin,
Right.
Texas. Austin, Texas is already a fucking huge hub for entertainment, and they're one of the few states that actually handled coronavirus correctly and didn't fucking shut down and bankrupt everybody. So it's the perfect place to go, because they're going to open back up, and they already are open. They've been open the whole time. and there's people everywhere. And now that there's a flux of comedians moving there, dude. Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn.
Theo Vaughn's moving there?
Yeah, Theo Vaughn's moving to Texas too. I don't know if he's going to Austin, but he's going to Texas. There's a bunch of them.
Probably Austin.
I mean, they're all taking off to different places because they're moving out. All the LA comics are dispersing, basically.
Well, yeah, I was talking to someone the other day, and I was like, even if I'm not assuming that I'll be successful, obviously, but even if I was, I don't think I could ever see myself living in New York or LA. Like,
definitely not fucking LA. I fucking hate LA. I'll say it openly, like way before this. I've hated California forever. Fuck you, you gender confused fucks.
I just
they're gender confused. They let the homeless shit in the street. They have no idea what's going on. They're broke because they're fucking stupid liberal cunts. Like, that's how I feel.
I personally like for me, I don't really care about politics until it starts like drastically affecting where you live. Like I don't want to live in the middle of Arkansas around 50 white supremacists, and I don't want to live in San Francisco where they're too woke to tell homeless people you can't just shit on someone.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to put it, though. That's 100%. See, obviously, I'll just go off because,
I don't care that you broke your elbow.
I don't care about your fucking feelings. So I'll just go off. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. Like, every smart person or everyone who's semi-logical understands that you can't go too far either way. You go too far to the right, and now all of a sudden you got whatever. You go too far to the right, and now you got trumpets, and you got fucking crazy Republicans. You got people screaming in your face and not even understanding science. And then you got fucking leftist liberal fucks who just think everything should be free. They're socialists. They really are now. Like, if you talk to Dems, they're pro-big government, they're pro-socialist healthcare, they're pro-government control over everything. I talked to a guy yesterday who I'm not going to mention his name because I actually have a lot of respect for him as an artist, but I was trolling one of his Vote Blue pages, one of his Vote Blue things, and I jumped on as a libertarian and was like, I don't know why, because he was making a joke about hats. He was saying, like, sorry, coronavirus catching up to me. I'm a little red for sure. But anyway, yeah, it's real. It's definitely real.
Is it feeling a little worse than the flu over there?
No, it feels pretty much like the flu. I can't scream and yell on the flu either, Matt. It feels almost exactly like the flu with less nose congestion, if you want me to be honest with you, because I've had the flu. Now, at any rate, yeah, I don't go to work on the flu either, Matt, because I'm responsible. So, anyway, what was I getting at? Yeah, so, what was I screaming about socialism? Was that what I was mad about? Democrats?
Yeah, you were pretty upset about socialism.
Yeah, I hate Democrats. I fucking hate Democrats. I think everybody in the state of Illinois should be able to look around and see the way this has been handled and fucking hate Democrats.
I just like trolling both sides, to be honest.
Oh, like, I do. I troll both sides.
I'm the type of person that, like, if I was around a bunch of people that hated Trump, I would just, like, make arguments for him, even though I don't like him. And then if I was around, like, Bible Belt conservatives, I would just, like, talk about how good of a guy Bernie is.
Oh, see, I do the same thing, but I also do it for my best interest, because I have opinions. Because I also don't like Trump or Biden. I'm actually pretty opinionated about it. I hate the duopoly. I think it's evil. I think we need to take them down. I think we need to promote free market trade and interaction. And I think that's the only thing that's going to fix America, to be 100% honest. I think if we don't start doing those things, I mean, especially if Biden wins, like, life is going to start changing. Now, it's going to change either way, because if Trump wins, everything's going to be on fire again. I mean, I hope you've got a gun. Like, if somebody breaks my windows, fucking pow pow. You know what I mean? Like, fuck them. But if Biden wins, I don't know if you've seen his plan for the future. They are definitely actively going to try to take our guns away. They're going to shut the country down again, bankrupt everybody. Local businesses in our area are already closing. Like, they're actively fighting right now. Like, when you talk about government affecting your local area, I mean, like, Yeah, they're actively closing down bars and restaurants right now, and a lot of them have already went bankrupt over it. They're getting fines straight from the state for allowing people to stand inside. I mean, I've been dealing with this shit constantly. That's why, I mean, that's part of the reason I'm still promoting the mic at Rockies, because if we can get the people to come hang out outside, they still buy stuff and support the venue.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't understand. Like, I get the first 2 weeks or the first month or whatever. Like, that's still hard for businesses, but I can understand that we didn't really know
We didn't
how
understand
serious.
yet. Exactly.
And that gives you a little time, that buys you time to figure stuff out. But I do think that ultimately, I just believe that for non-essential businesses, non-essential, that business is essential for the person who requires the income that comes from it.
Exactly.
There isn't really a non-essential business, and it's fine. Like, if you want to talk about, well, we're doing this to save lives, like, that's fine, but don't like virtue signal to me when I think that it's possible that more people are gonna die from unemployment, depression, suicide, going homeless. Don't like act as if I'm some animal and all I care about is money. I personally am the least affected person by this. I work a delivery job. That's temporary, and I'm moving out in a couple years.
Yeah,
so
and I mean, let's be honest. You just...
And you ain't black.
Right?
Yeah. So it's like, when I say this, it's not because I own a business, I'm biased towards it. It's just because I think that personally, people should probably be making decisions by themselves. Is, do I want to risk this? Do I want to go to the bar? No, my grandma lives with me. Okay, then you shouldn't go to the bar.
And that's the essence of libertarianism.
And so, like, with things that are like essential, like grocery stores, I get that it does become an issue because you have people who are choosing to go out in a lot of other places and things like that, and then they're going to the grocery store, the same grocery store you go to. And I hate to say that, like, if you're worried about the coronavirus, which is totally understandable, that you should get groceries delivered to you because that's an option.
But you should.
I
100% agree with you. You should either have them delivered to you, or you should Instacart that shit and stop bitching at people who want to live their lives. I agree with you.
Yeah, but and like, I don't like to tell someone that they should feel like they can't go to the store, but I like that a little bit more than telling someone that they can't run their business.
Yeah, run their business. How about just live their lives in general? Like, the whole...
Yeah.
They're destroying the American dream right now. I 100% believe that. Now, the problem is... Ow. Fuck, I just kicked the side of my desk. That was not planned. Ow. Son of a bitch. Fucking god damn it.
I don't care that you broke your elbow.
Fuck! So, anyway, but yeah, so... God, that did not help. I had a point, and I fucking fucked my toe up. God.
I don't care that you broke your elbow.
God.
What does your soundboard come out? Like, can I see it, or would that mess it all up?
Oh, you want to see what I'm using? Let me see which camera. I'm looking at you right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a couple cameras running right now. I don't use any third party. I'm using a beat pad that I use to make my music and stuff. Like, if you...
Oh my god.
Dude, if you check out some of the other videos, like, anything you hear musically in those videos, I make.
That's cool.
That stupid video where I'm dancing, I made that. If you go look up, I did a whole fucking rap song fucking where it's like Biden and Trump and Joe Jorgensen are doing bars over the shit. I made that. I make music, bro.
I just realized, did you earlier shit on my camera quality?
No, your camera quality is great.
Oh, you were talking about your own?
I was saying that they're vastly different, so getting them to look the same is next to impossible.
Oh.
No.
So you were...
Yeah, my camera quality actually needs a drastic improvement. I have a just good enough camera to work with my green screen stuff.
Which camera do you have?
I have, like, the entry level, the Logitech, the fucking 1080.
The webcam?
The 1080 webcam, yeah.
Oh, that's a good webcam. It's not an issue.
It's good for a webcam. But, like...
No, the issue is the lighting that you're doing, most likely.
Well, I know, but I've been working on it. It's just...
Most of the difference in camera quality you'll see is the difference between someone who's who knows. Like for me, I actually have a better webcam now than I used to have the same webcam
No,
you
I
have.
know. I can tell that you do. Like your camera's
Yeah,
definitely because I can see it on two screens. I can see it through my color
right.
filters over here, and then I can see your feed, and your feed is better than my feed, slightly
Right,
at
but
least.
my webcam, when I used to have the 1080 p one, when I
Yeah.
didn't have the stream cam, which is the upgraded version, it still looked like I would say 10-15% less than this, but it looked
Okay.
really good. So it's that if you're lighting it, I don't know how your lighting is in your room, but make sure that you're not doing yellow light and white light together, and
The
make
pro
sure that you're lighting
should I
both
be
sides of.
using? See, so when I bought my bulbs, I thought they were gonna be white, and they ended up having like they look yellow, and I feel
Yeah,
like
typically white light is better.
yeah, and I thought so, but I just don't know. Well, right now I'm stuck. I can't leave the
Yeah.
fucking house, but I don't
No,
know.
that's fine. And I mean, honestly, whatever, as long as you're putting out content, that's what matters. I mean, I had really crappy quality for a long time. It's just recently started to get decent. And even there are some times where I'm like, oh, I didn't light it correctly, and you can really tell the difference, you know. But what I
Yeah.
do is I have a ring light behind my webcam, so that lights like everything. And then in the corner, I have just it's like a stand light. Ultimately, I want to get like one that just goes one of those big pads, basically with a bunch of LEDs facing. I
Yeah.
want to get one
So
and put those up,
what
one of
I
those
was
up.
thinking I was gonna do, because what I'm actually using right, dude, I put this shit when I'm not fucking sickly. You're gonna have to come check out my setup because I think
Yeah.
you're gonna appreciate this honestly. Because I put through this together in the first couple months of quarantine, I think, with like, yeah, I got my green screen set up that just runs on a clothesline behind me, and
Yeah.
then I got sound insulation all over. That's why right now my sound is up and down because I'm getting ready to start streaming. So I'm starting to put different settings through OBS, and I found out that because my mic is USB into my computer and then my audio interface was doing shit separate, it was recording my sound bites twice.
Yeah.
And that was the problem with the newest episode we did on the video. But if you go listen to the sound quality, like the Spotify version, it sounds perfect because fucking, it's not dealing with those issues or whatever.
Yeah.
So
How's my sound quality? Yeah,
it's great.
I'm worried.
It's great.
Okay, I was just making sure that it was coming from here and not my headset.
No, it's definitely coming through that mic because I can hear you great. I'm wondering what it's gonna be like when I go to play back the thing, but I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be good because
Yeah.
the
Okay.
problem is right now. Now once I get my XLR microphone, then I'm gonna have it set up so that my desktop audio and my obviously audio are separate, and it'll all go through the same audio box, and everything will just be like all sexy and awesome. But right now, fucking, it's like I either have to use the mic or I have to use the audio box, and I don't have a mic that goes into the audio box, so
Yeah.
it's
When
fucking
I
annoying.
when I move out to Texas, I mean, so basically the reason I'm still staying in Rockford is I want to leave with like $25,000 saved and a car paid off. So that's gonna be like 8 to 10 months or whatever till I'm good with that.
Oh yeah, you don't
Uh,
want to, especially with the way things are right now and needing
yeah,
income and stuff. You're gonna want to take off with stuff.
right.
You're gonna want a
And,
decent vehicle. You're gonna want some money put away, all that.
yeah, and for me, like I think by then I'll also be making a small amount from YouTube, based on like my projected growth. I mean, not a lot, but
Yeah.
just it should always increase while I'm there. Like every month, it should increase for a long time. So that'll eventually be something that I can hopefully somewhat rely on. I'm not worried about it right now, though. I'm just worried about figuring out what type of videos I like to do, figuring out, just growing a little bit, reaching people. But when I do go there, I want to build, I ultimately want to get a condo and then the basement, just turn it into like a pimped out studio.
Right on. That'd be sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. With like, soundproofing throughout the whole thing. That's, I already have this microphone. I got it thinking it would be like, just a temporary thing. It's honestly like good enough. Like I don't need a new
You
one.
have the upgraded version of my mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And
you've got the X. I've got just the regular Pro, The anniversary edition, the blue one.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, and you know, just get good lighting down there. And I do at some point want to do like stream gaming. I was doing it for a while, but my computer is a Mac, and I don't know if you know anything about Macs. Like Macs are great.
I hate Apple. Mac's good for production stuff though.
Yeah, Macs are great for what they're good at, but video gaming stuff like that, they are terrible.
I was gonna
for
say
it.
they're not. That's not one of the things.
Right. So I do need to get a gaming PC at some point in order to do that, because that would be like
That's what
that
I
would really
got.
go well with the YouTube that I'm going to be doing with like basketball type stuff.
I got really lucky with hardware when I first started doing this, man, because I built a gaming PC like 4 or 5 years ago, and I don't fucking play video games. And I was like this close to selling this bitch. And then I was like, wait a minute, I have this super awesome computer with a graphics card in it already. So I just moved it into my studio and dropped a solid state, a new hard drive in that bitch, and boom, I've got a better computer than most people have for doing all this shit.
Yeah.
Like I can be running OBS, MPC Studios, recording audio through Audacity, still have my Spotify open, be talking to you and searching on the internet, and still only my CPU is barely taking like a 40-50% load. It's great.
How did you learn to build the PC? Like, was that hard?
No, well, I shouldn't say that with that much confidence. My buddy, I have a friend of mine who is, that's what he does. He's just a computer guy. And from doing it with him and seeing him do it, it's not that hard. I'm pretty confident that I could build one. I would definitely have to watch a couple of YouTube videos, and I would buy, in hindsight now, I would buy like a small screwdriver set with magnetic tips, 100%, because it's just a pain in the ass to get the little screws in, the little pieces and stuff. But really, it's like a puzzle, man. It's like a puzzle that goes together, and everything just has to be in there. Like, and then really now, fucking I have an Asus motherboard, and my buddy has also said ever since he built my PC 5 years ago, because he's helped a bunch of our friends build computers, because like a lot of my friends are into PC gaming, and he's helped all of us. And he said that since he built my computer, he won't even buy another motherboard that's not an Asus motherboard, because they fucking, one of the hardest parts about getting a computer to work is once everything's put together, you gotta, the RAM and everything has to be compatible so that it can send graphics to the screen, and then you have to be able to go in and download the drivers and stuff manually so that your computer functions the way it's supposed to. With Asus, they have it all set up where there's even a button on the motherboard to where like it wasn't computing like, or wasn't dealing with my RAM or whatever, and you push that button and it goes like whoop whoop and figures it out, and then it was like, all right, cool, boop, boots up and just deals with it, just does it on its own. So it's pretty.
Dang.
They're actually, yeah, there's some really sweet hardware out there that makes the DIY stuff really easy to do now.
Yeah, because I need to do that at some point. I'm just trying to make sure that that's something I really want to do before dropping, $1,000 or whatever.
So it depends, man, because like if depending on who's running deals at what time, sometimes you can get a PC pre-built that's fucking nice as hell, and then it's better for you to just buy that and then just upgrade it a little bit. Mm-hmm. Versus like sometimes you won't even have to, sometimes you won't even have to. And I mean, but other times, like if you're trying to build like a fucking monster machine, yeah, you might as well just start from the box and build up, because then you can put whatever you want in it. Like right now, my computer, I have a 5-core processor, and I thought about, if I didn't already like my setup a lot, I was kind of regretting not going with a 7-core at the beginning, because I'd need to replace the motherboard. But everything now, I guess, is fine. Like there's 2 hard drives and a solid state drive in there. So everything boots off of the solid state, and my computer will be ready to go in like 10 seconds. And then it's got 2 different hard drives, which is a total of 3 terabytes of storage, so that I can I can do anything. I never have to delete anything. I just swap shit in and out. For gaming, production, all of that. Like really, if you do build yourself a mega tower, it sucks because I'm in a position where now once I get my XLR mic, I'm going to keep this USB mic kind of like what you did, so that I can take it and travel with it. But I need to get a laptop. so that I can do that.
Yeah.
Because where I'm at. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm almost.
No, it's all good.
don't
I
care
run
if
all
you
my
broke
stuff
your elbow.
through a laptop, but it's getting annoying because like I do use my laptop. Like I said, I'm big. I really like watching sports. So every Sunday I take off and I just watch sports and make sports videos about football usually. And so like I'll take my computer up to my main TV to stream a game while I'm watching another game and kind of keep an eye on both of them. But every time I do that, it's so annoying because I'll have to unplug my webcam, unplug my, charger, my Ethernet cable that goes into it, all that stuff, reset it, and I have to preset my settings. So I'm like, maybe I should just get like a shitty Chromebook or something like that, just to have to stream stuff and have, with me and not have to worry about unsetting all my Mac stuff. Just basically. Maybe a crappy Chromebook or something like that. But I was gonna ask you, I forgot. Who was that? It's Ari Shafir. So
One of my favorite comedians.
I knew, yeah. So I was talking to someone the other day, and I was like, I feel like Andrew probably if I wanted to say that he wants to be any comedian, you probably want to be Ari Shafir, right?
No, well. Okay, now let me clarify by saying I don't want to be anybody. I want to be myself.
Yeah,
but if I was gonna emulate anybody directly, it would be Doug Stanhope. Doug Stanhope is my all-time. He's like my life idol, dude.
That's the guy that wears like really weird clothes, right?
Like corduroy suits and shit. Like
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
suits. The guy who, like, dude, I'm just trying to think of some bits just to give you, like, he does that one where he's like, have you ever thought about putting yourself on the sex offender list just so you don't have to deal with kids anymore?
I've seen some Doug Stanhope. I think he's really funny.
He's my favorite comedian of all time. Like, I actually just finished his second book. I got to go back. I want to read his first book, which I believe is called Digging Up Mother. But his second book is called This Is Not Fame, and it's it's inspiring for anybody who wants to go on the road and do comedy. It's awe-inspiring. Now, coronavirus, see? That's why we're doing this.
I
COVID
think you
Chronicles.
gave me the Rona, bro.
Through the microphone. That's how crazy it is. It turns kids gay and kills parents through Zoom calls, okay? Never.
I think the best thing I have with my setup is a mini fridge next to my desk.
I have a fridge right on the other side of this door. I have a full.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when you come over here, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" I got a full studio room, and then I have a kick it room with a mini fridge in it, literally feet away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So I was gonna ask you. I was curious about this. I don't think I've ever told you who my favorite comics are, but I was wondering if you would be able to guess who my favorite comics are based on how I do stand up.
I feel like Bill Burr is a big influence of yours.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you yes or no, but I'll just go ahead and list 3.
Well, I definitely feel like, so Bill Burr probably. I'm trying to think of who else I would put on your list, because sometimes it feels like you have a fucking point to, like you're trying to make points, like someone more. I don't know. I've definitely always thought Bill Burr, and I don't feel like Ari would be one of your influences at all.
No, definitely not. I think he's funny from afar, but it's not like I would watch him consistently.
I know you're not like a Segura guy because you're not really goofy enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of who else. Joe Rogan probably. Like, without a doubt. I remember thinking that one, because me and Nico were talking about when you changed the name of your show. Because I was like, why would he change the name of his show? It was pretty good. And then Nico was like, Joe Rogan just had this big spiel about how you should name your show after yourself. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's probably why. And then we all laughed.
No, that actually had nothing to do with it. It was for a while. I think I have heard him say. I heard him say that after on a YouTube clip I watched. But for the longest time, I was like thinking about it, and I was like, where do I want like a podcast of mine to go eventually? And I was like, I can't ever see a podcast named Unfazed being one of the biggest podcasts, Like, I can't see.
But why would you see the Matt Plautz Show being? Nobody knows who you are. I know what Unfazed. I know what that word means.
Right, but the thing is, it kind of took on a different meaning at some point, like unfazed with all the stuff going on. When I named it, it was a totally different world, and there are things going on that I actually am very phased by now,
Oh,
and
see,
very bothered by.
I'm still pretty unfazed. I witnessed a suicide before the quarantine happened, and pretty much nothing fucking affects
I'll
me
give
anymore.
you the name Unfazed. You should actually just take on the name Unfazed with Andrew Nye.
No, my channel is better than your channel. Is what we're going
That's
with right
good.
now.
Okay, so you were saying Rogan. Rogan, I really love Rogan. Like, he seems like just through his I love his podcast. His stand up is good. But I wouldn't say his stand up like has influenced me at all. If I were to say my 3 favorite stand up comics just in terms of their stand up,
Is Bill Cosby one of them?
So they don't know what the jazz is all about.
no, definitely not.
Okay.
I never fancy myself a Cosby guy. You got the Bill Burr. You got the Bill Burr correct. Bill Burr was one of the first. He was the first comic I ever actually consistently listened to. I started listening to his podcast when I was in 8th grade, so about 3 months ago. No, but like, I've been listening to his podcast for years now, and I actually don't listen to it a lot anymore. But I still love his stand up. So Bill Burr's definitely on there. Dave Chappelle, absolutely.
Oh, without a doubt, Dave Chappelle's the man, bro.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle is my favorite comedian of all time.
Dude, Chappelle is the man. If you don't like Chappelle,
And you ain't black.
And I would say that he probably influenced my stand-up the most. Like, when you were saying that, like, sometimes it feels like I have a point, I think he is the best comic at trying to get to a point without it feeling preachy.
yeah,
that makes sense.
because he's good at. That's one thing I've always loved about Dave Chappelle too, is because he can make a point and still not lose the entertainment value. You know,
Right.
like he doesn't go so far into his point where you feel like you even have to agree with him. You've still just enjoyed the show. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's such an amazing thing in our line of work, like with what we do.
Right, and I think that, like you said, I never would want to be Dave Chappelle because I couldn't do 50% of his jokes.
Right, like,
so.
well, yeah, you couldn't do most of them.
Right.
Because they're from the perspective of someone who hasn't. Yeah, you get it. I don't think
Trust me, I know Bill Cosby and Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock and Kevin Hart can make hilarious jokes that would not be funny coming from me.
I agree. I agreed with that until you threw Kevin Hart in there. God, I hate that guy.
You hate Kevin Hart?
I am not a fan.
I don't know where I used to love him, and I think he seems like an awesome guy, and I do think he's funny. But I kind of gotten to the point where it's like me thinking someone's funny doesn't make me like their stand-up. And I think that's something that's changed from when I started doing stand-up.
Explain that a little bit. So what do you mean by someone thinking, what do you mean by that?
So like before I did comedy, if I thought someone was funny, I loved them as a comic. But when I started to do it, I kind of grew into I liked certain styles, and Kevin Hart, as funny as he is, like, and I do think he's funny. I know I've heard people say that he's not. I don't know that, like, in my free time I would watch Kevin Hart.
Oh,
you know,
see, yeah, okay, that makes kind of sense, I guess.
Whereas, and there's other comics like that too.
See,
like,
there's a lot of comics where I guess I kind of feel you on that, where it's like, because there's comics that I respect. Like, really, there's not a lot of comics that anybody I consider a comic I respect. But that's not the point. What I'm saying is like, there's a lot of comics that have done things where it's like, I really, really like what they do, but it doesn't entertain me because, like, I'm not you're
not the subject for that.
I'm not the
audience.
Yeah, I'm not the audience for it. Exactly. I'm not the direct audience, so it's not something that I'm necessarily going to enjoy on my own time. But I still like it because I see it and I'm like, I recognize that what they're doing is awesome in one way or another. It's just not for me.
I'm curious as to what I have ever said, because I didn't know that I gave off that vibe. Like, what in my stand-up has ever led you to, like, believe that Bill Burr influenced me? I'm curious about that, because I don't,
When you,
I haven't personally
especially
seen
when you first started, because you're very, well, first just outward and you weren't scared to do jokes that would be even considered like misogynistic by a lot of people. That's a big one. He's got a huge rap about that right now. Like, it's like just the way you present, I guess. Like, there's a different way that we present. Like I've had people guess that I like Doug Stanhope without me telling them, just because I'm fucking sloppy to an extent. Like, not sloppy because, like, it's all thought out. It's just like the whole point of like the whole delivery about it, the whole stage persona is like, for me, is like, I'm a shitbag, you know, like I'm a lovable shitbag. Like, I'm right about things and you don't want me to be. Versus where like you present as just like this overall person who's kind of collected in a way, like more collected, more stand up straighty, more fucking like
me.
Yeah, that's what I'm
okay.
saying. Like, yeah, it's the difference. It's like me, I'm like on the shithead side, and you're more on the side of like up here. Like, you know, it's like people have different ways of presenting. Like, yeah,
Right.
different ways of presenting, different ways of doing our stage persona, which overall kind of creates like who we are as a performer. I think.
Right. And so I kind of I do know what you mean, because the first, I would say 3 or 4 months, it was a lot darker stuff, because I thought that was like what I wanted to do. And I don't have any problem with that. I watch comics. Like, I also really liked Anthony Jeselnik growing up.
See, he's one of those ones that's a perfect example of what you were saying earlier, because I love his jokes and I fucking hate watching him because his delivery is so boring. I can't watch more than half like a special because I love his jokes, I love his material, but the way he does his stage performance, like, I'm not gonna listen to this guy talk monotone for an hour.
Right,
you know?
but that's why some people love him, and that's what I was saying. Like, a funny guy, I don't think anyone could say that Anthony Jeselnik's not funny.
No, he is
but
funny.
some
He's
people
absolutely
wouldn't watch him because that type of delivery is just weird for them. It's kind of like a different thing than
that's why I like
stand-up
an
comedy.
Ari Shafir delivery or a Doug's delivery where everything is not necessarily theatrical but exaggerated. You know, like that's what those two comics have in common. That you'll notice that is slowly but surely making its way into my stage performance, is that I want to draw laughs by drastically exaggerating a situation so that, well, for you as an audience member, not as a comic in this sense, but as an audience member, to know that maybe I'm not serious about what I'm saying because you're at a fucking comedy show. Also, to still be in that mind state where you're asking questions. You're asking the questions I'm trying to get you to ask, because that's why I'm talking about the things I'm talking about. It's kind of like that's one thing that Doug has always done in his comedy, where like he's really just a loud, arrogant drunk, but like it's hard to argue with him after a while because he makes too much fucking sense.
I remember after I did an open mic one time, I don't think I was with almost any of the people from Rockford. I don't even remember where it was. I just remember the encounter after, because I stayed for the whole thing, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Don't say unfortunately.
No,
you had
it
a
is
great
unfortunate.
No, you had a great time and you know it.
No, I had a terrible time. It was horrible. I think it was in the suburbs, and I went on my own because I was working on a specific joke, and I didn't want anyone that had seen any of my material to see it because it was a different style. And this was when I was first starting to get into the more serious stuff, like I said, where I was feeling influenced by Dave Chappelle, that sometimes I had a point to be made. And we were talking after me and some of the other comics that I didn't know almost any of them. I had recognized a few of them. And I remember this one asshole came up to me, and I was just talking to one of the other people there, asking for advice to them because I really respected their performance. So, and I was like influenced by a joke that Dave Chappelle did, and I was like watching that, and no, I don't want to be Dave Chappelle. No, I couldn't be Dave Chappelle. I'll never be as good as him. I'll never be able to make the same jokes as him.
We get that. We get that.
Right. And then someone just walks in, but I was like, but I do like what he does to a crowd more than what these darker comics do. And yeah, Dave Chappelle has dark jokes every once in a while, but it's not. It seems like people are a little happier, and that's just my opinion. But I
Right.
told, someone walks in, like just buds into the conversation and goes, "Yeah, but you're not Dave Chappelle." I'm like, "What? How many times did I have to clarify that the man, no matter
Right.
what I do,
You say it. You can say it over and over again, and then there's still someone who's not listening. That's what you could.
Right.
You always have to
Someone that
remember
just-
that.
Someone that just didn't care to listen to what I said. He's like, "Yeah, but you're not Dave Chappelle." I'm like, "What did I say? I literally blew the
Dude,
guy."
as good as comics are at talking, they're not always good at listening. That's a prime
Right.
example. Because they're always,
100%.
dude, as much as people like to talk about, so I love our local comedy scene because we built it ourselves from top to bottom as people slowly start coming in and out. And everybody is supportive of each other, even if they talk shit about each other when they're not around or whatever. Everybody's supportive of each other. Everybody wants to do shows together. Nobody's fucking except for, I mean, we're having a little problem with the transgender community, or at least I am as of right now. But that's fine. You guys will get
What's
over it.
going on with
Yeah,
that?
you
You
broke your
tell
elbow.
more. You can't just leave that.
I've only mentioned it here and there on this podcast. You saw it in the group chat. I misgendered.
Oh, that's what you were talking about?
I misgendered our friend Joe. I'm not supposed to say whatever. Ireland, what's your fucking name now, dude? Yeah, I misgendered them, and they're mad, and now all three of them are mad, and they won't talk. We only have three of them in our local scene, and they're very mad right now at me for misgendering dude, and he'd only been a girl for a week.
Okay. Well, here's where I come from. So,
But no, no, we're getting off topic. 'Cause what I was trying to get at, no, I'm gonna lose my point in this because I just kind of thought of them. I got super mad for a second. So anyway, the what I was saying, and the reason why our scene is so awesome is because the people who are diehard comics who are coming out, who are still coming out, even in the midst of the pandemic, are all very supportive of each other. Versus when you go to places, even the suburb scenes, and even like the specific scene to scene areas between the suburbs and Chicago are prime examples of this. They're just so busy.
suburbs versus city.
Just all of them, even in the city, even the different parts of the city,
Right.
or the different parts of the suburbs. You'll notice that they are just insufferable when it
Right.
comes to virtue signaling to each other. When it comes to fucking just like, this person said this person said that, we gotta shut them down. Right now, there's a whole venue that's shut down over their country because of
Well, I heard something about. I've also heard that, and I don't know if this is 100% true, but I've heard that people are essentially going through hosts and people that are getting spots, Facebooks, to try and get dirt on them to use that against them so that there's more opportunity for.
Well, I told you about them trying to get me fired, right? Like
No.
Okay, dude, this is fun. We've got to talk about this a couple times on the podcast, but so there's this group called Blasting Bad Business, and one of the admins is some lady who, I can't even make this up, dude. She works for Fox News in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay? I think her name's Tori. I don't know. I'd have to go back. She blocked me on everything now. But I was sharing like pro Kyle Rittenhouse memes for a while because I still don't think he should have been charged with first-degree murder. I'm still defending that kid to an extent. Anybody who watched the other episodes already know how we feel. If you haven't, well, then that's your fucking problem. Like, we're defending self-defense. We're not defending fucking
Who's we?
me.
You and
me
you're
and-
saying like the other people
On
who
the-
are advocating for him.
Yeah, that's what most people are fucking defending. They're defending self-defense.
Well,
Now-
didn't the people coming at him, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a lot about this because there's so much new, and you can't get mad at me for not knowing it. Like,
Yeah.
people watching, if you're gonna try and cancel me, bro, I really don't give a shit. There's nothing to cancel. Go personally message all 333 subscribers. You got one of them on right now. If you're gonna get mad at me for not knowing, it's like, how many things in the news am I supposed to keep up
Right.
with and know the details about? Because there's so much stuff going on, and also there's so much misinformation
Right.
going both ways.
And
I don't know what's going on. Okay?
Exactly, and
But-
that's why. Now, to be clear, Matt doesn't know what's going on. I'm talking about me and the other people who've been on this show. Now, not everybody was defending him either. Marcos has
Right.
been on the show. Marcos is not defending him at all. He's also in agreement with me that it was not racist. Nothing that kid did was racist. He was a white guy who shot 3 white people. Okay.
Right.
One of the white people he shot was openly yelling racist things at the protest, and they have him on video doing that. He was the first one who tried to disarm Kyle Rittenhouse, and Kyle shot him. I mean, if you try to, I don't care where I'm at or how old I am. If I have a gun and you try to take it from me, I'm gonna shoot you. I hope you die. You're stupid. Like, that's how stupid people die, is by taking guns away from people. That's how it happens.
I just don't know about it enough. If the case
Right.
is, if it really is, like, I'll preface it by this is where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
If this is how it happened. If someone had a gun, was legally carrying it.
Okay, that's the thing. He was not. There's a huge gray area here because he was 17 and the active member. I'm gonna try to explain it to you the best I can because it's super fucky. So he was 17 and he was the active member of a militia, but that does not give him the right to legally carry a firearm in the state of Illinois. Now, in the state of Wisconsin, the laws are different because there's different laws as far as like rifle laws that I don't fully understand. As far as I know, I still don't think without parental supervision that he was allowed to have a rifle on him. But we have all the evidence, we have all the videos of him out. He was in Kenosha helping, doing militia duty with other people. He was cleaning graffiti off of walls. He was defending a car lot that his dad worked at. His mom, who gave him a ride to said protest area, to Kenosha, to do all of these things because they didn't see anything wrong with letting him do that. And now when you go in and look at all of the evidence, I've followed all of this, every single fucking... The reason the media stopped talking about it is because they really can't demonize him anymore. Like, he's at the car lot. This dude, who was yelling the N-word, by the way. The first guy that he shot was at the protest earlier that day, filmed multiple times, yelling at militia members saying, "Why don't you shoot me, N-word?" Maliciously.
Okay.
Yes. Now,
So-
no, hold on. Let me finish. Now, the first guy that Kyle shot was that guy, and that guy walked up on him and threw something at him, which from the video, it looks like it's like a plastic bag, I'm assuming with a bottle or a can in it, because he was a piece of shit. And the dude walked up on him and tried to take his, like you can see it, because the shot goes off in the distance, not Kyle. And dude is doing this while he throws it at him. Kyle turns around, and the dude is trying to attack him, and he fucking shoots him. All right? So then after that happens, you see the main video that made the news, which is Kyle running down the road towards law enforcement. Okay? You don't run towards law enforcement if you fucking did something wrong. Now, he's being chased by a bunch of people. He falls to the ground. Some idiot tries to hit him with a skateboard, and he shoots him. Glad he's dead. And then there's another guy who pulled a gun on him. And the dude, even with all that adrenaline going, like I wouldn't have been able to make that shot. He shot him in the arm and disarmed him without killing him. Like this kid, if this kid was 18 or older, he'd be a fucking American patriot. He'd be a hero. Like he killed fucking 3 felon-having scumbags who were out looting and ruining a protest, and he was there trying to do good things from the beginning. So yeah, no, I've done nothing but defend that kid. I mean, what?
So, if that's, I'm not saying, I know that you wouldn't intentionally lie. I'm just saying that I know there's a lot of misinformation and conflicting information going on.
I know, but I've watched
preface
all the videos, and I mean, these are real news articles. But yeah, no, you're like, obviously say that for the sake of you.
If that is actually what happened, I don't see how that is first-degree murder, considering murder's supposed, according to the law,
it's supposed to be premeditated. What? So that's been our whole argument, though. That's been the whole argument from the Free Kyle people. Is what they're saying is did he do something illegal? Yes, he took an assault rifle underage out with him while he was doing all this militia duty. The problem is I think that he might have been I think he was under the impression that what he was doing was legal, because in the state of Wisconsin there are different laws as far as who's allowed to carry rifles and where. Now, I don't know. Obviously, if he had thought he did something wrong, he wouldn't have put his hands up and ran towards the police. The police asked what happened, and he told them. You can see it in the video. He points. He's like, shit's going on over there. It's trying to gun help. Like, the only things he had on him were his AR-15 with one loaded magazine and a full med kit.
Okay.
That's not something somebody brings with them when they're going on a killing spree.
So if I could see maybe manslaughter because an illegal action he took.
Manslaughter, or even, I believe, last time I looked, it was like, is it second or third? That is just like, it's murder, but like accidental murder. Is that manslaughter?
I think
because there's
I think
first,
that's manslaughter.
Because there's like first, second, third degree murder, and then there's like manslaughter, and I don't know the difference between all of them. But I know.
Me neither.
When I looked it up, because I was posting for this for a while, definitely not first degree murder. Like inarguably not first degree murder, and he's being charged with 3 counts of first degree murder. 3 counts.
Yeah.
That's insane, dude. That kid's entire life is over because he tried doing a good thing.
Okay.
He tried. Yeah. That's basically what happened. His entire life is going to be over if he gets charged with even one count of first-degree murder. His entire life's over. He'll never be allowed to own a gun again. He'll be in a prison, a real prison. But I'm wrong for helping. No, anyway, now let me get to what I was getting at when I was talking about, like when it, dude, we've said it 1,000 times. Even like when it comes to fucking all those guys who got shot.
I don't care that you broke your elbow. I don't care that you broke your elbow.
I don't give a fuck. Now, dude, this all started. They were rioting over Jacob Blake. If you saw that video.
I don't care that you broke your elbow. I don't care that you broke your elbow.
Not everybody's life matters. Sorry. Now, with that being said, the reason why I'm mad about it is because I was getting it. There's a venue. I'm not even going to mention the name of the venue or the fucking any comics involved or anything.
Give me a hint, bro.
Doug Stanhope was supposed to be playing there in fucking November. This, or maybe it was the end of October. You've probably performed there. It's like it's a big venue, but it's not. Okay, it's Brower House. The venue is Brower House. Now with that,
bro, I was gonna headline there.
Yeah. So were you?
Yeah.
When?
In March, late March. And it got canceled.
Last March at Brower House?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, anyway, so before now this
I think
is
that was the place.
I don't think you're thinking of Brewski's.
Oh, much less good.
Much less good. Okay, not that less good. I've played at Brewski's. Brewski's is great. And actually, let's not talk shit about Brewski's. A friend of ours named John Bragg, who's a part of our local comedy scene, who's a great dude, hosts the shows at Brewski's, and he's booked a lot of us local boys to perform there. So shout out.
I'm thinking of a different place, actually. I don't know where I'm thinking of. Continue your story. I actually got to go in a few minutes, though, but just continue this.
But I remember this happening, though, because you asked me about it. Because it's in town, right? It's in Rockford.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Brewski's. So okay. John's not the only one who does shows there. Who else? Christina, I think, does shows there.
Yeah.
So it's the same venue. But anyway, there's a venue called Brower House in the suburbs of Chicago that the dude made a joke, and I saw it on the suburbs page about the dude. He said something about the bullet going through dude's arm. He was like, yeah, I wonder how that felt. And then dude said something like, what? You piece of shit? Look, someone got shot or what? I'd have to go back and look at it because it was so retarded. Like, so unbelievably retarded. And then, they decided all collectively to boycott his venue. So now nothing's... Just because he supported Kyle Rittenhouse. I remember there was another comic who posted something, and he was like, innocent people were murdered. There's nothing to discuss. And I just posted, and I was like, what innocent people? ? He didn't respond. Most of them just unfriend me.
So you got boycotted?
No! Fucking God. No, Matt. Brower House.
Well, you said they were trying to boycott earlier. You said they were trying to boycott me, too.
No, that is a different group. That's a group called Blasting Bad Business, but you interrupted me. I didn't get to finish that story either. Blasting Bad Business is a group on Facebook that is dedicated to, if they see you posting like racist shit or whatever, they'll take it and they'll post it in their group and try to get you fired from your job. That's what that is. And they tried getting me fired from my job, but they don't know that I build cars. They think that I'm a comedian. And because they blasted me in their group with all those Kyle Rittenhouse memes, and I jumped on and just told her she was a cunt and was like, this isn't racist.
How are those racist though? Like, if anything, you could say insensitive.
Yeah,
but if it's all white people that got killed, how's that racist?
We did a whole episode about it, dude. That's why I keep talking about it. We did a whole episode about it. There's a whole episode that Marcos is in called "Is This Racist?"
Oh.
That's what it's all about, is like memes that I've been called racist for and why they're not racist.
Did Marcos ever call any of them racist? I'm curious.
No. He had problems with them for other reasons, but they weren't racist.
Okay.
Yeah, he had problems with them for all types of reasons. Like
I think I understand where Marcos is coming from. Like, I could see people saying that what you say is insensitive, but when you're making the argument of racist,
exactly, that is what he
whatever.
Was saying. That is if you go and watch it, you can see we talk about each image like enough so that it's like you understand where it's not racist, but it's insensitive to one group or the other. Whether or not you think that's wrong is up to you. But to be,
I personally, and like I said, I got to go after this, but I do want to finish talking about this just because I know you, and I know that you would make a joke. I think the thing about you is, like, I don't think you're racist, I don't think you're sexist, I don't think you're transphobic. I think you're equally an asshole to every group of people. Oh, and that's what makes you funny.
I think that's also where my philosophy comes from. We are all evil. We are all scum. We are all dirt. Like that, every person on this planet will live and die, and your life means nothing. That's where I'm coming from.
So I think you would make. I think you would make jokes about trans people.
Yeah, of course
and I think you would make jokes about black people.
Of course,
and
I would.
think you'd make jokes about Christians.
Why wouldn't I?
Things like that.
Why wouldn't I?
Right. And Trump supporters and things. But I kind of come to, you can not like that. You can go, I would never personally go and watch that. But I don't think you can attach the label of racist, homophobic, transphobic to someone who literally shits on everyone.
And now, I know you got to go real soon, but that actually helps with both of these points. Because what I was talking about, so Blasting Bad Business was trying to get me canceled, and I'm uncancelable because I also have nothing going on. I'm a shitty bar comic with 40 subscribers to my show. She probably figured that out really fast and stopped trying to cancel me because there's nothing to cancel. Now, on top of that, when you're looking at like this Brower House thing in Chicago and the suburbs trying to cancel them, that guy, they were calling him a white supremacist for making those Kyle Rittenhouse statements. That's why I took such a big interest in this, because my favorite comedian of all time was supposed to perform there next month, and now it doesn't look like they're ever going to have another show there again. All because of a bunch of idiots virtue signaling to each other because they said the guy who owns the place is a white supremacist. When, as far as I know, now if he's done something else, don't fucking burn me. But as far as I know, and I've asked and been told multiple times that the only thing that he did was support a white supremacist, and that white supremacist was Kyle Rittenhouse. So I mean, you can have your own opinion about that, but I think they're a bunch of cunts.
Yeah. Well, I get how that would annoy you. I get how, like...
It doesn't even affect me. That's the thing.
Equating everything to race... Everything that you think is bad isn't automatically racist.
Yeah, or exactly. And that's the importance of, which we talk about a lot on this show, is blanket terming. Because you know what that means, where you take everything you don't like and you call it one thing. So now you take a white kid who shot 3 other white people and call it white supremacy. You take someone like me who's just an arrogant, for lack of a better term, drug addict, and just turn him into a fucking white supremacist or a fucking racist or whatever word you want to call it. You're blanket terming things, and that is not only, in my opinion, ruining comedy, but it's also, it's ruining free speech. It's ruining the American dream. Because people are scared to talk. People are scared to do anything. They're scared to do anything besides stay in their lane. You know? The old boomer mentality. Work. Die. Don't piss anybody off. Stay in line. That's not the American dream. And I feel like that's what we're turning into more and more every day, unfortunately. But we should try to end on a lighter note. Why don't you go ahead and plug some of your media?
If you like sports, my YouTube is Matt Plautz, MattPlautz, with a space in between, obviously just my name. I am going to be posting comedy there too soon. Once I just got started back up, so I don't have a lot on file right now, but I'll get to that, be posting bits and stuff like that at some point. So I'll be doing that. And then also, like I said, at some point I'll be back to doing those monologue videos, basically just breaking down stuff, adding comedy to it as well. But that's kind of TBD till I feel comfortable doing that again,
Right.
without pissing everyone in the world off at the same time.
Hey, man, honestly, sometimes it's good to piss people off.
I do. I'm not afraid of pissing people off, but like right now I'm trying to chill.
Yeah.
Hey,
we all have our own way of doing media and doing our art,
right.
And that's a good thing to remember as well. We all do things differently.
All right, yeah, that's pretty much it though for right now.
So don't forget to check out the Matt Plautz on YouTube, the Matt Plautz Show, where you post all types of cool shit all the time. And that's
all right.
About
Thank you, man.
And look for his name on the flyers when the world opens back up at various stand-up venues all over the country, because I'm assuming you're going to be in Texas soon. So
thank you for having me, Andrew.
Thanks for coming on, man. I'll see you soon for sure.
All right, peace.
Later.
Am I logging off right now?
Yeah, if you're ready.
All right, see you, bro.
Later,
Text
dude.
me later, man.
Oh, will do. I'll get a hold of you. I always do. All right, everybody. So that was Matt Plautz, which is going to be on the first episode of the COVID Chronicles, which is going to basically be all the episodes I managed to do while I am in quarantine with coronavirus, which as of right now has not been identified specifically as coronavirus. But I have two friends who definitely have it right now, and I am just sweating for no reason, a little fevery, definitely having some congestion. So I'm waiting to find out if this is the infamous coronavirus, and I will know by Thursday at the latest, and that's going to dictate whether or not I can do my next coming up gig, which is supposed to be in Milton, Wisconsin, where me and some other amazing comedians are supposed to perform at a charity event put on by the YMCA, which is a drive-in event, et cetera, et cetera. Unfortunately, if I test positive, I will not be able to perform at that event, and I'm not happy about that. But I can also say with 100% confidence that if I have coronavirus right now, then the government needs to get the fuck out of our business. If I can make the logical decision, and if I can make the decision myself to quarantine when I'm sick, even though I know I'm not dying, I mean, I'm sick for sure. I feel like I have the flu. But I know if I can do that, then I have faith in my fellow Americans to do that too. And that's pretty much where I'm at with that. So we're going to keep doing it. You're going to see it. Maybe you'll listen. Maybe you won't. Don't forget, you can always contact us at mypodcastisbetter@gmail.com. We're on my channel is better than your channel on YouTube if you're watching this. If you're listening, we're on all the major listening platforms. I think the beginning of it is a little cut off on the audio, which is my fault. Not working at 100% because the coronavirus is inside me, turning me gay and trying to convince me to kill my grandma. So. But all right, so we're going to get out of here now. Remember, if this isn't your favorite podcast,
You ain't black.
goodbye, everybody.